Hey guys, I've just noticed that I've spelt underwear wrong because I can't spell. How can I not spell underwear? There we go. All right, that would bug me throughout the entire live stream if I didn't correct that. All right, guys, there's a massive search underway for Nicola Bulley. Just downstream of where she went missing. So it appears that this is within a mile of where she went missing. And there's been a police helicopter circling for quite some time now. And they've closed off the roads in the area. So I was just in the process of uploading a video. It's actually uploaded right now. But it doesn't feel right to just release that video whilst this is going on, because if they find her or they find a body and they're waiting for identification, it will be completely inappropriate to upload a video that was talking about the search for her. So I've gone live instead. If it turns out this is nothing, then I'll just let that video release later today. But for now, let's focus on what's going on the River Wyre. So hello everyone, hope everyone's well. Yeah, 3 weeks and 2 days it is, Selena, 23 days. Well, there's something going on, let's just put it that way. There's something going on. Oh, I don't get notifications either for channels that I watch. I don't know what's going on. It's been like that forever. Yeah, smash the like button. Get as many people in here as possible. Hopefully we get some news. It's not going to be good news, is it? But at least it will be news. If they find her... Thank you, Coffee Cake, for the $9.99. That's very kind of you. At least her family, her friends, her little daughters, Paul will have answers. Her parents, you know, they're absolutely distraught over, I mean, you can only imagine, can't you, 23 days and the massive media intrusion that's happened in their lives and, you know, in the local area. It's just horrible, and I do hope that they have some news today. So that's why I've gone live. Like I said, if this doesn't come, you know, and nothing comes of this, if this is a false alarm, then I will release the video that I've uploaded later today. Thank you for the $5, Rexy. That's very kind of you. This helicopter isn't live. No, it isn't. This is footage taken by Sky News. So let's have a look on Twitter. So this was an hour ago. Police helicopter and significant police presence over the River Wyre, just down from the village of St. Michael's. Police are cordoning off the roads around here. Thank you, Shelley, for the $5. That's very kind of you. So, like, just people just waiting for news. Just waiting for news. Ryan says he feels like significant news could come today. But we're just all waiting. Okay, we've got some information here from Martin Brunt from Sky. Divers searching river and helicopter circling near where mum of two went missing. Let's have a look at this news report here. Okay, so this has just come out 3 minutes ago. Divers searching the river. Helicopter circling near where mum of two went missing. So there's divers in the water. If anybody's local, like very local, and can give me a precise location of where they are, where they're diving, and then we can get the map up and get a feel for exactly how close it was. You know, it's just being reported by people, randoms, saying that it's about a mile downstream of where she went missing. Yes, a body could easily get over the weir. Absolutely. That's what I've been saying all along. Absolutely. This is just what's being said, only a mile. That's why I need a precise location. But roads have been cordoned off, so it shouldn't be difficult to find out where this location is. It's been the focus of an intensive search. We know that. We know that. We know that. So there's no news as of yet. It's just literally breaking. Thank you, Artemis, for the $4.99. Thank you, thank you. Looks like the first bend in the river after the bridge. I'm not sure it does. It could be. I shared some pictures on my Twitter. Let's have a look. What did I share? Daily Mirror. This was just before I went live. Okay, so go away. Divers have arrived at the scene less than a mile. Less than a mile. So this is reporting by the Daily Mirror. Less than a mile from where she went missing. Okay, so it's a tip-off by dog walkers, it seems. Sherry, thank you for the $10. And Sarah, thank you for the 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. It's on Sky News now. Why would they need a helicopter if she's been found? They always get the helicopter up. They'll get the helicopter up for a precise location. So a man and a woman were earlier seen pointing to a spot in the River Wyre while police drones and helicopters hovered over an outcrop of trees and undergrowth. The force sealed off a nearby road after receiving a call around 11:50, it's understood. A photographer at the scene told the Mirror, "It's all happened so fast. Police have sealed off all the roads. It's fair to say a massive search is underway. It comes over 3 weeks after Miss Bulley's disappearance." So divers arrived at the scene less than a mile downstream. We can get, thank you. Who was that? Ruby Joy. Hold on. Rawcliffe Road. Rawcliffe Road's long, though. Rawcliffe Road's long. I'll show you. Maps. Okay. Rawcliffe Road. It's down here, I think. So this is Rawcliffe Road. And then it curls up. So if it's on Rawcliffe Road, we need a more precise location than that, honestly. So the river goes up here. That's downstream. Sorry, upstream. And then it comes out and it follows, Rawcliffe Road follows the direction of the river. There's Rawcliffe Road. So we'll go to where we know. There's the grapes. There's the bench. And the weirs right here. So the river goes west. And then Rawcliffe Road follows the path of the river for a little while. So it kind of loops round and then it follows the path of the river for quite some time. So Rawcliffe Road's a long way. Undergrowth sounds not drowning. It depends. if she's like in the river and has like washed up on a bank. A mile is how many kilometers? 1 and a bit. Thank you, Kelly, for the 1.99. That's very kind of you. You're all idiots. Well, you can go on a timeout. You can come back in 5 minutes. Wonder if it's an area Peter searched. I don't know. 1.5k. I don't do kilometers. I have to work in miles. I know I'm old. Actually, we did kilometers and meters at school, so I don't know why I have to do miles. It's the police helicopter. It's not Peter's. It's the police. Any marshalling near there? Not in this area. No, this is still quite a narrow river at this stage. It's about another 6 miles downstream before it starts getting out towards the estuary, where there's like big sandbanks, like at Sharp Bridge, near almost at the estuary. Which road has been closed? I'm assuming, based on it's less than a mile away, I'm assuming it's Rawcliffe Road, because coming out of St Michael's. So again, this is the oh, you can't see it. Oh, damn. Hold on. Can you see it? You can see that, can't you? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Sorry. Molly, thank you for the $10. That's very kind of you. So let's be clear. Bench. This is the river path. This is where the river path comes out, just before the grapes. That's the iron bridge right there. And then we go downstream. So we're out towards the coast. And Rawcliffe Road comes just a bit north of the river. And Rawcliffe Road keeps going for quite a few miles. So it comes out of St Michael's and then it catches up with the river. And then it follows the bank of the river for a little bit of time. You can see the river's just there. And Rawcliffe Road, it's just very, very rural out here. You can't quite see the river because of the, these are flood defences. And then it goes back away from the river a little bit. But Rawcliffe Road goes on for quite a few miles. So I'm assuming that it's Rawcliffe Road that they have, that they've cordoned off. So there's 1.6 kilometers to a mile. Okay. But the mirror said it's less than a mile. Let's go back to Twitter, see if there's anything new. Where am I going here? Rawcliffe Road, sealed off as an area that runs very close to the river with places to pull over a car or a van. So this person, I think, is assuming that the bodies, or if there's a body, no, that's downstream. So closer. So the flow of the river goes downstream towards the estuary, not upstream. You can't flow upstream. You have to flow downstream. Thank you, Kiki, for the $9.99. That's very kind. Thank you so much. Had a lot of rain and wind storms over the last few days. We have, and it can be that if a body's been stuck in like reeds or undergrowth, that just little bit of extra, I guess, a push by a storm can move it. Yes. They need to get vehicle to closest point. Yes, Rawcliffe closed. Divers are in the water now. Is it used by canal boats? No, it isn't. It's the River Wire is too variable to be able to navigate it via a canal boat. Yeah, the current's stronger. Yeah, yeah, we have had some bad weather. You know, I was thinking that they'd find her in the spring, because as the seasons change, the water level drops. So it's any change, whether it's a storm that increases the flow and that can push a body out from where it's been, or if a body's stuck, the water level reduces when it's warmer, and that can show a body that was previously hidden. Did they see something in the water? Apparently, so for those of you just coming in, it's a tip off about 11:50, so nearly 2 hours ago now, in the UK. It's currently quarter to 2 in the UK, so not quite 2 hours ago. It was a tip off. So it was 2 dog walkers who spotted something about 11:50. Divers have arrived at the scene less than a mile from where Nicola was last seen in St Michael's on January 27th. A man and a woman were earlier seen pointing to a spot in the River Wire, while police drones and a helicopter had hovered over an outcrop of trees and undergrowth. The four sealed off a nearby road after receiving a call about 11:50. A photographer at the scene told the Mirror it all happened so fast, police have sealed off all the roads. It's fair to say there's a massive search underway. So you can see there, I don't know whether that's a ditch. See, it's difficult to tell from this photo. That's why I want a precise location. Oh, there we go. That's better. So we've got a stone wall. We've got a lot of brush. This type of brush, I don't know what it is, but this grows all along the rivers. So if a body's been stuck in reeds like this, sonar won't pick it up. And it literally takes divers to feel all along. So, you know, there might be certain places where divers have not been able to get to, and a body just gets stuck in reeds or mud, and then it takes a push from a storm or from the water reducing for that body to either move and be seen, or to for the water level to change and then be seen. So every time a dog walker sees a log floating in the river, this will be the reaction from now on. Well, it's better to be safe than sorry, isn't it? No, sonar wouldn't pick it up. No. Not if a body is in mud, in reeds. No, sonar can easily miss something like that. If they find her in that water, Peter Folding will need a new job. Yes, he will. I think she's been in the water since she's been... She has, in my opinion. It's very close to the road. She could have been dumped. You see, that's the thing. People are still not going to be able to accept, even if they find her in the river and it's deemed an accidental death. People are still not going to be able to accept that it's an accident. It's going to be Kylie Rodney all over again. I can see it coming. But we might be jumping the gun. Let's be clear. Let's be absolutely clear. They haven't found anything yet. We just got this report and waiting for further news. So that's where we are. And the reason why I went live is because I've got a video that's just uploaded, and then this news came out, and it would have seemed totally inappropriate to upload a video talking about the search for Nicola when they could find her today. That's why I chose to go live. Now, if it turns out that this is a false alarm, and this is, you know, this is a log floating along that people thought was a body, or it's old pieces of clothing that from the road look like a body, and it's a false alarm, it's better to be safe than sorry. Better to call it in just in case. But if they don't find her today, then I'll release the video that I made later. Thank you, American woman, for the $10. You going live has been great. Thank you. It's not easy to find a body in the water. It absolutely isn't. That was one of the things I talked about in my video today. Could have been dragged under a tree branch. Could have been dragged under all of these reeds and things. This is where they're searching. So I'm presumably this is Rawcliffe Road. And this is the river. And then look at it. It's very thick with reeds. If the body's got stuck right like around these reeds, sonar ain't going to pick that up. It's clothing, apparently, is it, Laura? Is that what they've found? See, it could be. It could simply be discarded clothing that's been there like forever. And it's looked like a body. And it's better to be safe than sorry. So no traffic cameras there. It's very, very rural, Rawcliffe Road. Very rural. Between St Michael's and Great Eccleston, I doubt there's cameras. Just looking on the map here. This is Rawcliffe Road. Let's go down. But Rawcliffe Road is like several miles long. Why is it not letting me go down? So we've got... Let's go back to St Michael's. So this is St Michael's. And Rawcliffe Road leaves St Michael's, travels along, and it finds the river. And then it goes west, not quite alongside the river. It's only for certain parts that it's near the river. There, you can see the river there from that part. That's just outside of St Michael's. So you can see there's a wall there. So it could be around here. Could be here that they're searching. Around this wall. But it leaves the river, and then it goes back to the river a little bit. But it's just a very, very rural area. And eventually it gets to Great Eccleston, I think. And very rural, very unlikely that there's going to be cameras anywhere along this road. So it could be possibly here. There's a wall, reeds, could be there. Or I don't know, I'm just guessing, but it looks kind of like that. It's near that building. What's that? Is that a farm? Is there a farm anywhere near here? It might be a little bit further up. I don't know. Might be a little bit further up. Or further downstream rather than upstream. What's that? No, that's trees. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait for further news. Lynn, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, thank you. So was something found? It's the fishery, is it? Hold on. So where's the fishery? Have we got an exact location for where they are? Whatever that is. Could be that. Because there's only at certain parts that the river's next to the road. Anyway, let's have a look, see if there's any more news. The helicopter flight path is small. It's just going round and around and around. Yeah, it would need to be where the river and road meet. If Rawcliffe Road's shut, the road goes alongside the river for a little bit and then leaves the river and then goes back. It's like following the general trajectory of the river, but not quite. No, it's not nowhere near Shard Bridge. Shard Bridge is about 7 miles from St. Michael's. It's almost at the estuary. Rawcliffe Road cuts off the corner right at that right angle. That's where they are. Okay. Do you know for sure that's where they are? So there. So Rawcliffe cuts off that right angle, so the river goes round like that. So they might be there. There's the fishery. There you go. We've got a better location now. So that's the fishery. The road goes along here, and then it leaves it a bit, and then goes along here for a bit, and then leaves the river. I don't know whether it goes back to it later, but I think that's where they are in this area. Is it Marsh Farm? No. This is Hudson's Farm Fishery. And then there's Turnover Hall Farm Caravan Park. It's not a gypsy camp. Guys, it's not a gypsy camp. These places are not to blame for whatever happened to Nicola Bulley. Can't see, sorry. Can you see it now? You can see it now. 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 Yes, you can. You can see it now. Oh dear. You can see it now. Look. Right. So Rawcliffe Road goes alongside the river here. The fisheries here. Right. Nowhere near Marsh Farm or whatever you're talking about. And then it cuts off the right angle of the river there and goes up here. So it's in this area where they are. But it could be a false alarm. It could be just clothing that looks like a body, but it's better to be safe than sorry. But you can see here, these are the flood defences. So the river's right there. And then you've got the fisheries on this side somewhere. And then it leaves the river for a bit. And then it comes back to it a little bit further down here. But it's really not very far from St. Michael's. But it's a very, very rural area. There's the occasional property, but no traffic cameras or anything like that. and with it being a lot of reeds and stuff, very difficult to search. Wouldn't be picked up with sonar, just too very difficult to search. No, Emma doesn't own the fishery. Emma does not own the fishery. Right, guys, if they find her in the river, either today or another day, people are still going to say that the family did it, the friends did it, whoever did it. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Exactly, Linda. What are the family going through? They're going through an absolutely distraught, devastating time, and yet people still want to blame the family and the friends and whoever else they can pick on. All right, it's nothing to do with these businesses. All right, this caravan, if they find her here today, it's nothing to do with the fishery, nothing to do with this caravan park, nothing to do with it. She fell in the river and it's an accident. But if it gets ruled an accident, guys, if it gets ruled an accident, some of you are not going to accept that, are you? Like people still don't accept that Kylie Rodney died from an accidental death. On the news saying all roads sealed off. How do I know it's not? How do I know it's not what? How do I know it's not a murder? Well, it remains to be seen, doesn't it? But I'm saying if it's ruled an accident, if the medical examiner rules it an accident, people are not going to believe it. Shelley, welcome to memberships. Thank you for joining the Secret Agents Club. How do you know? Nobody knows. I'm questioning everything. I'm questioning everything as well. I'm questioning everything. But the thing is, I'm saying if her body is found in the river, either today or another day, if it's ruled by the medical examiner as an accident, people are still not going to believe it. Like they don't believe that Kylie Rodney died of an accidental death, even though you can actually see her car going into the water. So you now can't say who owns things in the area. You can say whatever you like about who owns what. But if you start blaming them for it, then no, it's ridiculous. Without any evidence. No, they're not talking about Emma from Crime Stories Obsessed. They're talking about Emma, Nicola Bulley's friend. People still don't believe Elvis is dead. I know. Well, when did he die? 1977. He's probably died of old age now anyway. Shelley, thank you for the £10. Finally, channel speaking sense. Yeah, I do try. I cover as many theories as I can. I do cover different things, but I'm not going to start making stuff up. I'm not going to start blaming people from the family when there's absolutely no evidence that anybody did anything wrong. I'm not. I'm just not. I'm just not. Okay, so we've got some pictures here. Don't know who they are. Okay, so they look like police. I think we've seen that one before. So that's what the river looks like today. That's from today. We'll save that one. So this is the helicopter flight path. Round and round and round and round and round and round. So it's this part here. Turn round and round and round. There's a guy who works in the chip shop, swears he's Elvis. Yeah, there's been a few of them. Odd that the caravan park owner's brother-in-law said he saw the phone and the dog, but it was his sister-in-law who tied the dog to the bench. It's not sinister. It's not sinister. We haven't got live footage, no, because this is a rapidly developing situation, so we haven't got live footage. We've got some shots from the helicopter earlier on, just circling. No, that's not right. They've not closed off Hall Lane, have they? Or have they? See, this is how ridiculous people are. So this is the area she fell or jumped in here. No, you're wrong. It's there. And they are searching all the way down at the other end. So this is a person who doesn't understand how rivers work. Okay, all right then. Up. 3 minutes ago, Senior Investigating Officer for Nicola Bulley, Rebecca Smith, has arrived at the area where police are carrying out an extensive search of the River Wyre. So they've got the senior officers there now. Yeah, Nelly. Yeah. She's not been dragged anywhere. She's not been dragged anywhere. Except by the river. It's horrible, isn't it? It's on Sky News, yeah. I don't have Sky News. Actually, I have No TV. Does that have Sky News? If BBC has it on, we'll put it on for a bit. I don't have Sky. Some people are saying Sky News. Yeah, I can't access Sky News. I don't have Sky. And I've got No TV, but let's see if BBC's got it on. Hold on.
True. James Landau, BBC News, Munich.
Nearly 2 weeks on from Turkey's devastating earthquake, officials...
No, they're talking about earthquakes and Turkey. No, it's where Peter searched. So sad. So sad. Oh, thank you. We've got somebody who makes sense, somebody who understands how rivers work. Open waters can keep a body for weeks. It's not a swimming pool. There are hundreds of rocks, debris, fishing hooks, lines, reeds. If she's been found, it will hopefully help her family in a small way. It's horrible to lose anyone. It's devastating, but at least they'll have answers. At least they'll have an answer. At least they'll be able to take her home and lay her to rest. You'd be amazed if she was in the water, Angela. Well, you prepare to be amazed because they'll find her in the water, whether it's today or another day. And I know people slag me off for saying that. How do you know, Michelle? Because I know why rivers work. That's why. Top sonar search the water. Top sonar can't look into reeds and mud. Top sonar can't. Go and ask fan favourite Peter Faulding the limitations of sonar. Go and ask him. Go and ask him now. He's obviously a friend. Go and ask him. She's been found, I think. The senior officer, the lead person for the investigation, has now turned up on scene. How do you know how rivers work? I'm not going to answer that. Google it. If you don't know how rivers work, Google it. Otherwise, F off. I nearly said fuck off then. Out of my chat. Not a chance she's in that water. Really? Do you want to bet? How much do you want to bet? Anybody want to put a bet on? I know it's crass, but okay. Peter searched that far up the river. He never searched past the bridge. I will be asking, did police search that area fully? Yes, they did, but it's difficult to search a river. I think she's talking about where Peter searched upstream, where it's little and shallow and it's like a paddling pool. It's like a little paddling pool. Yeah, trolls F off, yeah. Thank you, Matt, for the $2 Australian. She could be under rocks or branches. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it takes a difference, a change in the water, either the increase in water, like through a storm. We've had a storm over the last couple of days, and that can be enough to shake a body that's been stuck under rocks or branches or reeds. Oh, that's what I meant, reeds. Or it can take the water level reducing, like in the spring when it gets warmer, and that can bring a body to the surface, or at least show a body close enough to the surface that people can see. I won't ever change, laced in chains. I won't ever change. Thank you, Ellie. I'm a diver, and Michelle is saying the truth. People don't like the truth. People do not like the truth. She could have been put there, but unless there's signs of a crime, unless there's signs of criminal involvement, like, let's say, for example, a hyoid bone broken, so she's been strangled, or a shotgun wound, or she's had her head caved in, then what evidence is there going to be? It's going to be an accident. Gypsy Princess, thank you for the $4.99. Matt, thank you for the $2. It's not like lakes, ponds, etc. that AWP search. It's not. It's not. Rivers are moving all the time. So they can search an area, clear an area, and it's not clear. Like, at least in a lake, once you search an entire lake, it's clear and you can tick it off your list. If you do a land search, you can tick it off your list. But if it's a river, it's constantly moving and constantly changing. That's how rivers work. That's how rivers work. Dear me. Dear me. Oh, that's all spam. Waiting for confirmation. I just hope they find her. At this stage, I just hope they find her. Yes, they did, Churchill's cigar. It is ominous. It is ominous. Is it still on Sky News? Sky is talking about something else at the moment. Okay. Crew News UK. Plus, the dog's behaviour doesn't say much. Dogs are crazy in how they react. No, they're not. Dogs are very predictable in how they react. Dogs are very predictable. If you understand dogs, they are very predictable. Way more predictable than humans. Sky News is on YouTube Live. Are they? Okay. Let's take a look. Sky News.
In 1997, when we modernised a country held back by crumbling public services and
I don't want to listen to him.
Labour must rise to the moment.
Right. Thank you. Let's watch some movies. Your channel I enjoy watching daily. Oh, thank you. Must be watching too much Lassie. I'm going to show that comment. They don't lie. They don't lie. They really don't lie. Well, they've not got anything to do with Nicola Bulley on at the moment. They're talking about politics. So we'll keep that on, but we'll share something else. Let me know if they put Nicola back on if you're watching it. Thank you, Shelley J, for the £5. Manchester Evening News are claiming 2 air ambulances heading to the scene above the M6. Okay, interesting. Thank you. It's on the banner at the bottom, breaking news. Please search River Wire, need to area where Nicola Bulley went missing. Yeah, we know that, but I'll leave it on until they actually, if there's any news. There might be I'm preempting myself a little bit by saying that they'll have a press conference. But there might be a while to wait. Could have been a crash on the M6. Do we know, are there any capped mine shafts in that area? Don't know, actually. I don't think so. Not out towards the Foul Coast. I don't think so. I don't think they mine down there. They might be, but why? If she's in the river, why would it be? Why would it be relevant? Nottinghamshire Live is live at the scene on Facebook. Okay, let's have a look. Nottinghamshire Live. They've come a bit of a way. Okay, let's have a look.
They've been here for several hours now, and this road has been closed. We have just a few moments ago seen a crime scene investigation van drive down the road. As I mentioned before, people who obviously live in the small outlying villages just down Rawcliffe Road are being allowed through if their vehicle registration documents match an address in that area. So people are being allowed through, which perhaps might indicate that the source of today's development is some way down this road.
Am I echoing? Echoing. All right.
I did have a little walk earlier to the bridge which overlooks the River Wyre here in St Michael's on Wyre, and dog walkers and other walkers can be seen walking down the path that runs alongside the river. So police obviously haven't closed that off, certainly not from the location where we could see from, which does show some distance. It's okay, go on. Sorry about that, just allowing some people through. So, as I mentioned before, people are being allowed through if they live either along Rawcliffe Road or in the outlying villages further down. At this stage, police haven't been able to give us very much information, understandably so. They closed off the road around 2 hours ago now. Haven't given us any more information really beyond that. We don't know a great deal about the reason for this road closure, other than it is part of the investigation into missing mum Nicola Bulley, who hasn't been seen in more than 3 weeks. She was last seen on Friday, January the 27th at around 9:10 in the morning. Nicola had dropped her 2 daughters off at school, which is very close by to the river, St Michael's on Wyre Primary School, and she then took her dog, a Springer Spaniel called Willow, for a walk alongside the riverbank. She was seen by a fellow dog walker at around 9:10, but since then there's been no sighting. Nicola was reported missing after somebody found the dog running free, seemed to be in an agitated state, according to an eyewitness. And since then,
While their sound comes back, it's them, not me. I'll just say that I found where this reporter's standing and where the road's closed from, because Laura's given me a very good clue here. So just quickly, I'll show you where they are. So this is the junction here. That's the petrol station. The Grapes pub is just there. This is Blackpool Lane, and then Rawcliffe Road starts here. So the road's blocked off from here. So it's only if you live down here. Obviously, there's houses in this first bit. So if you live down here, and of course they've got to let you in. And there's a street down there as well. But it's at that junction there where the road's closed.
Road closure is in connection with the disappearance of 45-year-old Nicola Bulley. As I mentioned before, we don't know the reason for this road closure. Police, obviously, at this early stage, aren't able to give us any specific information, but we do understand it is part of the investigation into the disappearance of Nicola Bulley. Nicola, who's 45, was last seen more than 3 weeks ago on Friday, January the 27th. Nicola had dropped her two young daughters off at the village primary school, and she then took her dog Willow for a walk alongside the river. And she hasn't been seen since. Her phone was found on a bench next to the river. And since then, there's been a very extensive search involving police, the fire service, lifeboat crews, and private experts, including one gentleman who spent 3 days searching the River Wyre. Peter Folding was confident after his search that Nicola was not in the river. Just to recap then, we are here in St Michael's on Wyre in Lancashire, where police have closed off Rawcliffe Road, and we understand this road closure is connected to the disappearance of Nicola Bulley. The entire community has been involved in the search for Nicola. The people from far and wide have turned up to try and help look for her, to the extent, of course, where police have been forced to gain a dispersal order to prevent people from turning up to film their involvement. Just to recap then, we are here at St Michael's on Wyre in Lancashire, where police have closed off Rawcliffe Road, as you can see here, which we understand is in
While their signal's gone out, I just want to thank
connection with the disappearance of missing mum Nicola Bulley.
Right, can you hear me now but not hear them? Thank you, Down Under With Love, who's gifted 5 memberships. Sweet Insanity, Nisi, Samantha, Easter Justice, and One Shining Star. Welcome to memberships, courtesy of Down Under With Love.
Nicola Bulley. You'll see there a cyclist who obviously intended on cycling down Rawcliffe Road is being told he's not able to. As I mentioned earlier, although the road is closed to the general public, motorists are being allowed through if their vehicle registration documents match an address which can only be accessed via this road. You'll see there are several police officers and vehicles here at the junction. Earlier, we took a look at the car park of the Grapes pub, which is just up the road here, and there are several police vehicles parked up, and we did see a number of officers putting on their equipment. All the police officers that we saw who were parked at the pub didn't make their way down here to this road, suggesting that there is another route they've taken to wherever is the source of this development. Just to reiterate that obviously Lancashire Constabulary haven't given many details at this early stage although we do understand that this road closure is in connection with the disappearance of missing mum Nicola Bulley. Nicola, who's 45, was last seen more than 3 weeks ago. She dropped her 2 young daughters off at the village primary school, then took her dog for a walk alongside the river. She was seen at around 9:10 in the morning on Friday, January the 27th, but there's been no sign of her since, despite an incredibly extensive search involving the police, fire service, private experts, police drones and helicopters. But there's been no signs of Nicola since. As you'll see here, obviously there's a considerable amount of traffic build-up because of the road closure, which this road, Rawcliffe Road, leads.
That's them, guys, not me. Obviously, live streaming from the side of a road is going to be a little bit hit and miss, shall we say, especially in a rural area. So just stand by, it'll come back. Someone on Twitter, just a tent has been erected where they're searching. Okay, just let me double check. All right. That's not coming back yet, but I'll just switch over to Twitter. BBC reporting that a tent has been put up.
As well as Pilling and Knott End here in Lancashire. Although people have been allowed through if they can show that they have evidence to back that up.
Can you hear me and not them? I don't know. But the BBC are now reporting that a tent has been put up.
Earlier today,
it's next to, it's on Rawcliffe Road. It's about a mile away from the bench. Does a tent mean a body? Usually, yes. Usually, yes. Usually means they found something, yes.
More than 3 weeks ago on Friday, January the 27th. She dropped off her 2 young daughters at the village primary school, took her dog for a walk, and hasn't been seen since the alarm was raised when Nicola's dog Willow was found walking free, seemingly in an agitated state, according to an eyewitness. So police have now turned their lights on this police vehicle, which is blocking Rawcliffe Road. Presumably that's to alert motorists in advance that this road is closed, because a significant number of vehicles were backed up just a few moments ago as people were waiting to find out why the road was closed. As I mentioned earlier, police at this stage haven't given much information as to why this road has been closed here in St Michael's on Wyre, although we do understand earlier on we walked up to the bridge which runs over the River Wyre and could see people walking alongside the path which runs next to the river. So clearly that path hadn't been closed off. And we could see for some distance, although obviously there are several miles between St Michael's on Wyre and where the river meets the Irish Sea, close to Fleetwood. So where we currently are here at the junction of Rawcliffe Road is a very close distance to the River Wyre. If I just turn around, you might see in the distance there a humpback bridge sign just close to that tree, and that's where the River Wyre is. On the other side of the road to that tree is the path that leads to where Nicola was last seen, a very short distance from here, in fact. Obviously, the mobile reception here, indication of how close we are to the River Wyre. Just to recap for anyone who's just joining us, we are here in St Michael's on Wyre in Lancashire, where police have today closed off a road. And I've just been given some information that a body has been found. I'll just take you a little bit further down. It's obviously very, very sad news. So Bulley was last seen more than 3 weeks ago. And police have now confirmed that a body has been found. Rawcliffe Road, which leads to Hambleton, Hilling and Knott End. The road runs alongside the River Wyre.
The water search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family have been informed of developments and our thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. We ask that their privacy is respected. What do we know so far? Well, since around 1:10, a police helicopter was circling the sky, flying quite low to the River Wyre, about a mile down from where Nicola Bulley was last seen around over 3 weeks ago at a bench in the village of St Michael's on Wyre, where her phone, still unlocked, was found, her dog Willow and the dog's harness as well. So 1:10, the helicopter flying for around 20 to 25 minutes, quite low towards the River Wire. That was then replaced by a police drone, and there was subsequently a number of police officers that arrived at the scene, divers into the water. Police had cordoned off roads, stopping any members of the public, ourselves as well, getting close to what was happening there. And then more police officers arrived later on, including a detective superintendent and the senior investigating officer on the search for Nicola Bulley, Rebecca Smith. Then in the last 20 minutes or so, we've seen a forensic tent has been erected by police officers along with crime scene investigating officers as well. And the information that's been released from Lancashire Police in the last few minutes is that they were called at 11:36 to reports of a body in the River Wire. The underwater search team and specialist officers attended the scene. They entered the water, and sadly, they have now recovered a body. They say that there is no formal identification. Now let's take you back to the 27th of January. Nicola Bulley, a mum of two, had dropped her daughters off at school, had taken her dog Willow for a walk, and that was normal routine, something she did almost every single day. She went for a walk around the fields about a mile upstream from where we are right now in the village of St. Michael's, and then her phone, still unlocked, which was on a Teams call, her dog, Willow, and a dog lead was found near a bench right next to the River Wire. That was over 3 weeks ago now. And subsequently, since then, there has been an extensive police operation, a missing persons investigation that was launched with underwater drones, with divers, with specialist teams, with helicopters, drones in the air, with police scouring the riverbanks, police going all the way down around 10 miles downstream to Morecambe Bay to look for any evidence in relation to Nicola Bulley. Now, there is no formal identity yet of this body that they have recovered from the River Wire, but Lancashire Police have said that is something that they have done this afternoon. They have recovered a body, and they are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time, and they are treating this death as unexplained. Now, it is actually in the distance that police have been carrying out this extensive search. It's been going on, they say, from around 11:36 when they received a call of reports of a body in the water. And what they are now trying to clearly establish is whether this is the missing mum of two, Nicola Bulley, who we know has been missing for the last 3 weeks or so. What we witnessed earlier today was a police helicopter flying in the sky, but very low to the River Wire, clearly trying to look at something in the water. That was in the air for about 20 to 25 minutes or so, and then that was taken over, it flew off, it was taken over by a police drone. Police divers arrived on the scene, and a number of police officers arrived. They cordoned off a lot of the area, the main road heading down to the area, but also the footpath which leads you to the area where they've been searching. It's our estimate that's about a mile down from the bench where Nicola was last spotted, where her phone was identified, where her dog Willow was, and where the dog's harness was as well, about a mile downstream. Now, police have been scouring this water over the last few weeks, over the last 3 weeks. Now, I think over the last week, it's fair to say that that police operation, the search operation, had scaled back slightly. We'd only seen officers using binoculars on bridges. We'd seen officers using sniffer dogs to try and see if they could pick up any evidence. But that really was the scale of the searching. And a lot of it focused downstream as well. But today we really saw probably the largest search operation for at least a week or so, and that included the police helicopter, the police drone, police divers once again, and a number of senior officers, including the senior investigating officer to the missing persons case of Nicola Bulley. And what Lancashire Police have confirmed to us now is that an underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene after receiving a call at 11:36 of a report of a body in the River Wyre. They entered the water and have sadly recovered a body. They say that no formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. They say that they are treating this death as unexplained. And let's just have a thought for the family, a family who have over the last 3 weeks been in absolute turmoil. This has been a roller coaster for a family who are just trying to get some answers. We've had no clues. We've had no major evidence as to where Nicola Bulley could have gone. But as police said, they're still trying to identify who this missing person is. But what they did say is Nicola's family have been informed of these developments, and they say that their thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times, and then they say that their privacy should be respected. The River Wyre, I have to say, and we've witnessed this over the last 3 weeks, the River Wyre is an incredibly tidal river. It moves back and forth constantly. We've seen the water levels rise and fall in a matter of minutes. There's been significant amounts of rain over the last couple of days, and that would have played in the way a role in the way that the river is running and the levels of the water as well. But clearly this is a significant update in relation to all of this. Police have recovered a body from the River Wyre. They're still working out the identification of who that may be and whether it is the missing mum of two, Nicola Bulley, who, as we know, went missing over 3 weeks ago.
Inti, can you just give us a sense? We will read out the statement in just a moment, or I'll do that, from Lancashire Police confirming that a body has been found. Just give us an idea of where it was discovered, how far it was from where Nicola Bulley went missing.
Yeah. So look, Nicola Bulley had dropped her children off at school in the village of St Michael's of Wyre. She took her dog Willow for a walk as normal, and it was down a footpath next to a caravan site where the last known sightings of Nicola were, where her phone was found unlocked, where her dog Willow was found walking or running around between the gate and the bench where the phone was, and the dog's harness as well on the floor next to what is a very cold, and would have been at that time, and often quite deep and often quite fast-flowing River Wyre. But this is where we are now, is probably about half a mile downstream, and where police have been searching and where they've clearly recovered this body now is probably about a mile downstream from where that bench was. They are still working to identify who that person is that they have recovered from the water, but they have stressed that Nicola's family have been informed of these developments and that their thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. We will hear more from Lancashire Police in due course, no doubt, but that is the latest. Lancashire Police have recovered, sadly, a body from the water after underwater search team and specialists attended the scene following a phone call at 11:36 this morning of reports of a body in the river.
Intiman, many thanks indeed for updating us on this breaking news. And let me just remind our viewers of what Lancashire Police have said in the past few minutes. Their statement in its entirety this morning, Sunday the 19th of February. You may be aware of police activity around the river near to St Michael's on Wyre. That is, we want to provide you with an update on that activity. Intimam has been reporting that for the past couple of hours. It's an intense activity. Well, police go on to say we were called today at 11:36 a.m. to be precise, to reports of a body in the River Wyre, close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water, and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at the time. Procedures, the statement goes on, to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Nicola's family have been informed of developments, and our thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. We ask that their privacy is respected. So that is the breaking news. Police say a body has been found after a search of the River Wyre, not far from St Michael's, where Nicola Bulley disappeared in Lancashire 23 days ago. Let's get the thoughts of our crime correspondent, Martin Brunt. Very good afternoon to you, Martin. So while procedures to identify the body are ongoing, the death is being treated as unexplained.
All right. So I think they believe it's Nicola. In my opinion, I think they believe it's Nicola simply because the senior officer was there, Rebecca Smith, who's been leading the investigation. The autopsy will probably be done tomorrow or Tuesday at the very latest. They'll do it as a matter of absolute urgency. It will be done by a Home Office pathologist. They will bring in the big guns. It won't be some little piddly, new, off-the-shelf, freshly qualified pathologist. This will be done via a Home Office pathologist, and identification will be as soon as they can, after they've informed the family. I can't imagine that there's going to be an identification today, although I might be wrong, because identification can be done in various ways. Obviously, if she has been in the water for 23 days, and I believe she has been, then you can imagine that she's not going to look like she looked in life. And they will use dental records. There might be other identifying features that they can use, such as tattoos, but they will wait for a formal ID, most probably dental records. Obviously, they'll have a good idea of it being her because her hair won't have changed and her clothes won't have changed. And her clothes will most probably still be intact at this time. So, yeah, that's assuming that she fell in the river between 9:20 and 9:30 on Friday, the 27th of January. But as somebody said in the chat earlier, they'll be able to give a rough idea of how long she's been in the river within a reasonable amount of, a reasonable amount of leeway in there. But if she's been dumped in the river much later, then they will be able to tell that. Obviously, if there's signs of foul play, such as broken hyoid bone, such as fractures in places where you wouldn't expect fractures to be, from somebody who's fallen down a 10-foot banking and then drowned, a caved in head, for example, a gunshot wound, those kind of things. So at the moment, they will say it's unexplained until the cause and manner of death are established. If she was dumped in the river afterwards, then it's likely that there won't be water in her lungs, but that's not a absolutely 100% proof of drowning. Water is usually in the lungs when someone drowns, but not always. So they will use a broad brush approach at determining the manner and the cause of death here. So that's where we are at. Personally, I think this was a tragic accident. If they can't tell, if they say this is drowning, but they can't tell how she died, they may continue to list her death as unexplained. But if there's no signs of foul play and she's been in the river for as long as we know she's been in the river, then it will be determined an accidental death. The manner will be accident and the cause of death will be drowning. So someone said as a body decomposes, it floats easier. That's true. It can take a week, 10 days, even longer in really, really cold water for a body to build up enough gases to make it float. However, at the area where I believe this is, where they're talking about, the riverbank is all covered in really kind of large reeds and very thick underbrush along the riverbank. So if the body's been stuck in what I call Lancashire mud, which is really very sticky, and also that river is very silty, the body could have been stuck. And because we've had high winds, so what you see on screen now is that spot where the divers went in. You can see the underbrush there is very thick. That will hide a body. And perhaps with the higher water that we've had over the last few days and the heavy winds, if the body's been stuck in those reeds and it's not been picked up by sonar and divers haven't been able to get right into those reeds, then they will have missed her. And the dog walkers this morning reported in that there was a body floating in the river. So it's most probably that she's, assuming it's Nicola, but it's somebody. If it's not Nicola, it's someone else, right? But that combination of heavy winds and increased rainfall has just been enough to dislodge the body. The area is very, very rural. It doesn't have CCTV along Rawcliffe Road there. No, it's very, very rural. We had the maps up earlier. Yeah, Willow was. I bet Willow was traumatized. I bet she was. They said it's a woman. Well, obviously they'll be able to know the gender. She's not been in the river that long that it's skeleton, and they'll need let me just I'll put Sky News back on here. Hold on.
Wire close to Rawcliffe Road. An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water, and have sadly recovered a body. No formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing. We are currently treating the death as unexplained. Lancashire Police go on to say Nicola's family have been informed of developments and our thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times.
Okay, so just the same statement at the moment. So yeah, they'll be able to identify that this is an adult. They'll be able to tell that this is a woman. They'll be able to probably, via her clothing and her hair, have a very good idea that it's her, but they will not formally ID her until they have something firmer via dental records, most probably in this case. Lessons will be learnt by all. Anthony, you are so right, but that people never learn. People never learn. We say this every single case. People never learn. But at the end of the day, you know, it's awful. It's awful. If it turns out that it's not Nicola, it's someone else's daughter, mother, partner, grandma. It's somebody else, isn't it? Thank you, Starkia Rottweilers, for the 10 Australian dollars. That's very kind. Mixed feelings, but I'm so relieved Nicola has been found. You always believed she was in the water. I did. And I believe this is Nicola. I do. I believe this is Nicola. There's nobody else missing in that area. And if it's somebody who's been missing for a long time, then the remains will be skeletonized, and they wouldn't be expecting it to be Nicola. But yeah, the fact that Rebecca Smith went to the scene, the senior officer on the case, the fact that they informed her family, I think they know. I think they know, but they won't tell the public until the family's been informed, and they have that formal identification. But it's really sad, really sad. But it's just, rivers are horrible. They're horrible places to search. Horrible places. Thank you, Sapphire, for the 99 cents little rose, a Lancashire rose, in fact. Thank you. Have they said it's female? They haven't, as far as I'm aware. They haven't ID'd the gender, as far as I'm aware. But I think they'll know that this is a woman, because it's not going to be skeletonized remains. But oh wait, BBC News saying the body of a woman has been found, and now saying it wasn't the body of a woman, it was just a body. WTF. Oh God, the conspiracy theories are out. Oh, I can't deal. I can't deal. I can't deal with it. Thank you, Georgia Diving Recovery, for the $10. Sub your channel as I do search and recovery too. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. It's very kind of you. Yeah, so for those of you just coming in, a body has been found. A body has been found. Nicola Bulley's family have been informed that a body was found. It was a couple of dog walkers who called in a tip at 11:36, specifically this morning. It's currently 3 o'clock p.m. in the UK. So just over 3 hours ago, a tip was called in. I've never stated it was a skeleton. Never. Never stated that it was a skeleton. Never. Not once. Not once. Thank you, Susan, for becoming a member. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Welcome, welcome. Never said it was a skeleton. 23 days in the water. There will be significant decomposition, but there will not be a skeletonized body floating out there. There will not. But anyway, this is fresh water, Minnie. It's only a mile away from the bench. It's only like salty as it gets out towards the estuary. Yes, she was in the river, yeah. Or a body was in the river. So they've informed her family. So, and the senior investigative officer, the person who was in charge of the investigation, Rebecca Smith, the one that so many people had lots of things to say about, she's been on scene. Thank you for the, what have we got here? $13.99 Canadian dollars. Thank you, Gelsey or Chelsea. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Yeah, for those just coming in, for those just coming in, a body has been found about a mile away, a mile downstream of the bench. There's no formal ID as of yet because they've not done the autopsy. So they won't do a formal ID to the public until that's done. And unless there is, you know, very, very clear distinguishing features. But in my opinion, they'll wait until the autopsy's done and they'll inform the family. Now, Nicola's family have been informed that a body has been found. So they're being kept up to date with this news. Thank you. Please pass the pepper for the £9.99 and the hippo in a gaming chair. Thank you. Yeah, the police were right. Yeah. Please share my PayPal details. The PayPal details are always in the description box of videos, but I'm going to put it in the chat just once. That's right. Yeah, so at 11:36 this morning, so just over 3 hours ago, there was 2 dog walkers who saw a body floating in the River Wyre about a mile downstream from the bench. And Nicola's family have been informed. For those just coming in, no formal ID as of yet. Yes, they can identify through dental records. They can also use things like tattoos, but usually they do go with dental records. In worst case scenario, you know, let's say dental records are not up to date or whatever, then they will do DNA, but they don't need to go that far. I think they'll have a good idea that this is Nicola. Thank you, Celeste, for the $10. Thank you so much. It's awful, isn't it? It's absolutely dreadful. Absolutely awful. Thank you, Angela, for the £2. Just saying 30. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. But yeah. Yeah, they can use DNA, but they won't DNA. They won't wait for DNA anyway. If they can get a positive ID from dental records, that's what they'll use, and they'll do that. They'll do that very quickly. They'll do that very quickly. So the autopsy most probably will be tomorrow or Tuesday at the very, very latest. 30 the end. Okay. Welcome, Lisa. Welcome to memberships. Welcome to the Secret Agent Clubs. That's very kind of you. So a death, or the death of this person, is currently being treated as unexplained because the autopsy will determine the cause and the manner of death. It will be carried out by a Home Office pathologist, so somebody very senior will do this. Even when my son was killed, they got the Home Office pathologist in, and they did. He was killed on the Sunday morning. They did the autopsy on the Monday, and they had a preliminary report by the same day. They did it Monday morning, and the police came round with a preliminary report and read it out to me on the Monday night. So it can be very, very quick, very quick. But it depends. It depends on the level of decomposition. It depends on a whole variety of things as to how quickly they can, obviously, ID. And if there's obviously signs of something suspicious, then you know, they'll then start a murder investigation. But I strongly suspect that this was, as I said all along, an accident, and it's just been a really, really, really tragic event. Really tragic. But obviously we'll wait for the autopsy to speculate any further on that. Thank you, Angela, for the £20. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Murgatroyd Fruit, for the 19.99. Thank you so much. I'm so sad, Sleuth Dog. I know. It's awful, isn't it? Thank you, thank you. I shall buy Cassie and Tilly some treats because of all the experiments that I've put them through over the last few weeks. Thank you, Okie Dokie, for the $10. Thank you so much. Sasha, been a member for 11 months. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you. You've missed everything, Anna. You have. You've missed everything. Let's just listen to Sky News to see if there's anything more. If there isn't, I'll sign off, and as soon as there's any further news, I'll be back. So let's just listen for the next couple of minutes to Sky News, and then I'm going to say goodbye to you all.
For about 20 to 25 minutes, it then flew off, and then a police drone was put up into the air, and again that was looking at that area quite intensely. And then police divers arrived, and they were deployed. They entered the water, and they spent a significant time in the water. All whilst that was going on, police had cordoned off a country lane which leads to the point at the river where they were searching, and part of the footpath leading up to that area of the river. It was at 11:36, just reiterating what Lancashire Police have told us, it was at 11:36 that they received a call to reports of a body in the River Wyre close to Rawcliffe Road, that road that they subsequently cordoned off. And whilst all those detailed searches were ongoing, the police divers, the drones, the helicopters, the number of police officers at the scene as well, they clearly had significant information that there was a body in the water. The divers then recovered that body. There was a specialist search team, an underwater search team, and then we saw crime scene investigators arrived, and they erected a white tent, a white and blue forensics tent, which is still up there in the scene. We've seen very senior police officers, including the senior investigating officer for the missing persons investigation of Nicola Bulley, Rebecca Smith, arrive on the scene as well. Now, it's important to stress that police have said there is no formal identification yet of who this is, and they are unable to say whether it is the body of the missing mum of two, the 45-year-old Nicola Bulley, who has been missing for over 3 weeks now. They say that procedures to identify the body are ongoing. But I think what is an important point in their release, that Nicola's family have been informed of these developments, and the police have said that their thoughts are with them at this most difficult of times. As I mentioned, police have scoured this river for the last 3 weeks. They've used high-tech, very specialist equipment. They've had resources from a national level come down and help them here in this very rural village of Lancashire. And what they've actually done is searched all the way down to the mouth of the River Wyre, heads out into Morecambe Bay and into the Irish Sea. So they've really scanned a lot of this river. But one thing I would say about the nature of this river, it's something that I've never seen before. The levels rise and fall in a matter of minutes, and the tidal nature of this river, you see some parts of the river flowing upstream, and then you see some parts of the river flowing downstream. So whatever is essentially in the water, whether it be logs, trees, in this instance, a body that has been recovered, it will have moved quite significantly over a period of time. Now, police are still carrying out their work in the distance. We can see a number of officers. We can see a police van. The forensic tent remains up now as well. That drone which was up earlier has come down, but it's clear now from police that they recovered a body at this scene after receiving reports at 11:36. Let's put this into context of what's happened in this very quaint village over the last 3 weeks. We know that Nicola Bulley, a mum of two, had taken her kids to school, dropped them off on Friday morning, the 27th of January. She then took her dog Willow for a walk, as she normally does. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary for her to do. And she took the dog for a walk on her normal route. It was then...
Okay, so that's the very latest. Once again, for those just coming in, you've missed nearly 2 hours of this live stream. So rewind if you want to get the full information. But just a quick recap. At 11:36 a.m. this morning, it's now nearly 3:15. So a few hours ago now. 2 dog walkers about a mile downstream from the bench where Nicola Bulley's dog Willow and her phone were found. 2 dog walkers spotted something floating in the river, in the reeds. You can see here on Sky News, you can see that's the point where the divers went in. It's on a road called Rawcliffe Road, and you can just see there the depth of the reeds by that river. So in an area like that, sonar can't get into those reeds. And if there's mud buildup or silt buildup as well, which is very common in Lancashire rivers, then it's very difficult for sonar to penetrate. Ask any sonar expert. You know, Doug from AWP talked about it recently. If a body's in reeds or stuck in mud, very difficult to find via sonar. And what divers have to do is go in and feel, literally feel, you know, and if the reeds are really, really deep like that, they might not be able to get in to those areas safely, at least. So that initiated a massive search, and divers went in, the helicopter was up, drones were up, and a body has been found. They won't give the cause and manner of death until the autopsy has been complete. The autopsy will take place quickly. It will be by a Home Office pathologist. They'll probably do it tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. They'll do it as quickly as possible. This will be an absolute priority. And an identification can be made at that point. And obviously they'll inform the family before they inform the public. They might even be able to identify her earlier. I don't know. I don't think they will. But obviously a body that's been in water for 23 days, there's going to be significant decomposition, but it's not skeletonized. It's decomposed, but not skeletonized. But things like clothing and hair won't be so decomposed at all. So they'll be able to tell, I would imagine, be able to have a good idea that that was Nicola. But until that formal identification is made and the family have been informed, then we won't be told that. They'll establish the cause and manner of death. At the moment, they're saying that the death's unexplained, but you know, they'll give us the cause of death, the manner of death, you know, as soon as they can, I guess. So that's the news. It's incredibly sad. However, you know, it's a relief. It's a relief for the family to at least know what happened. Assuming that this is Nicola, yeah, temperature of water does play a part. It does. It does play a part. The colder the water is, obviously, the less decomposed the body will be. Now, it is winter here in the UK. It's been mild, fairly mild most days, but the water's cold. But yeah, that's where we're at. Incredibly sad. A mile downstream of the bench, as you heard from the reporter there. I keep learning his name and then I forget his name instantly. But as he said there, they've been there for the last 3 weeks and the river is tidal. The river is tidal from the weir. The weir just a few hundred yards away from the bench, and it's fierce. It's fierce. These people who've been saying this river is incredibly slow flowing, it's not, it's fierce. Actually, I went to a wedding on Friday and I was talking to my uncle, who may well be watching, I don't know. But he was saying he used to fish there in St. Michael's, and there's some parts of that river that are really deep. Really deep. And it does appear that the bench area is dangerous. The St. Michael's Angling Association has a sign up there saying deep and dangerous water. So if this has been a tragic accident, then it's absolutely awful, awful. But obviously the autopsy will be able to give people answers as to whether there's any obvious signs of foul play, such as a hyoid bone in the neck being broken. It can indicate strangulation, head wounds or fractures that wouldn't be expected from, being drowned. No water in the lungs can indicate that the body was dead when it went in the water. Although, as we saw with Kylie Rodney, that's not an exact science, because there's many people who drown who don't have water in the lungs, and it's due to the airways closing up like very tightly at the moment of death. So that's not an exact science. But there's various ways, signs of a gunshot. It's not a skeleton, so, they'll have the tissues. They'll be able to rule out foul play. I would imagine, I'm guessing, but I would imagine that they'll be able to rule out foul play. And if they can, then it will be deemed an accident. But it's tragic, absolutely tragic. But it is, it is answers for the family. Cadaver dogs have been there. Now, I don't know the specific locations of where they use the cadaver dogs. There was one of the search and rescue teams had a dog in the boat with them. The specially trained cadaver dogs who can scent in water. However, water is very, very difficult for a dog to scent in, especially a river. A still patch of water like a lake, a pond, cadaver dogs can locate a body more easily, but water searching for dogs is always difficult, especially in a river, because of the movement of water. It just takes the scent, literally washes the scent away. So dogs and rivers, riverbanks, not as easy for dogs as obviously on land. If it's a relatively shallow pond, then yes, they can be used to some level of effect. But cadaver dogs, really, it's their ability to detect bodies underground or bodies that have been moved. So there's cadaver scent on the ground, but that body's no longer been there. We've seen that recently with the terrible case of Michael Vaughan out of Idaho in the US. We've seen cadaver dogs hit in a backyard and the body appears to have been moved. So, yeah, dogs are fantastic. They have a lot of brilliant uses, but in rivers, particularly ones that are fast flowing like the Wyre, then not very good as scent. But Willow was right. Willow was right, wasn't she? It appears at this stage. All right, guys, I'm going to go, but I'm going to be keeping a very close watch on the news throughout the rest of the day. And I will be back as soon as we've got any further news. I will be back live. All right, so get your notifications on for this channel. Subscribe, get your notifications on, like the stream so it gets shared out as widely as possible. And I thank you very much for being here. And I may see you today. I may see you tomorrow. You'll definitely see me tomorrow at some point, but I will be back live as soon as we have any news at all. All right, guys, thank you for staying respectful in chat. Everybody's opinions are welcomed, obviously, but as long as they're respectful. Thank you, as always, to the mods. Thank you for all the donations. You've been very, very generous. There won't be a video today because the video I made this morning that is uploaded and is on private won't come out because it's redundant now because it was on the search for Nicola. It's redundant now, presumably. Right, I will release that video though. I'll keep it in private. I'll release that video if it turns out that this body is not Nicola. Then I'll release that video. But I am expecting this to be Nicola, sadly. If it's not, then somebody else. It's somebody else. And who is that somebody else? You know, that's obviously something very important to talk about. But yeah, thank you for all the donations. Welcome to the new members. And I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.